Tired of seeing everywhere selfishness, entitlement, narcissism, deprivation, and the desire to live only for one's own needs? Here's what you need to do. In an era drowned in easygoing ethics and relative judgment, it should not be a surprise that corruption, crime, deprivation, selfishness are the elements dominating our society. Nowadays, it is not shocking anymore to see naked people on the street, CEOs looting the treasuries of their publicly traded companies, or state leaders engaging in corruption affairs with evidence in plain sight. The shocking element is now the lack of an answer to a question that is not so often asked, friend. And that question is, what the hell happened to integrity? The erosion of standards of behavior has removed the concept of conscience and has eliminated shame as a factor in one's behavior. How can someone be ashamed of breaking standards of behavior if there are none to break? In a time when it may seem that the anything-goes approach to life is unstoppable, there are many of us who still believe that standards of behavior, conscience and integrity are essential if we want to have a functional, moral and just society. If you are one of them, friend, come along on this journey of exploration and let us examine once more the steps you need to take to ensure that you, your family, your business, your community can operate with high standards of integrity. There is a great need to restore faith in moral and just principles in our society. When a man, a family, a business fails in their values, the decay that follows will be always from the inside. Sometime in the last decades, values came to be viewed as expensive assets, relics of the old, and were replaced by lies and false promises of hollow ideals that could be acquired in an instant. The result is a world created to prevail on convenience, laziness and treachery, enjoying excesses of luxury, dishonesty and deprivation without repercussions, while drifting away from commitment, courage and reciprocity. And so, friend, we ended up today with public scandals that continue to build the lack of faith and confidence in political leaders, law enforcement, the educational system, and even the closest of friends. As grim as this may be, it seems that the treachery and immorality that we observe has generated a willingness to discuss ethics and values once more, and we all, you and me, should be ready to have that discussion, ready to examine the ethical challenges that we have to face in public and in private, in order to rebuild a world that is integrity-centered. It is time, friend, to restore trust. It is time to work harder to build a world in which people do what they say they will do. A society in which people are direct and honest in their communication, and where a handshake solidifies a promise much more than an illegal contract does. It is time to strengthen the way businesses and institutions operate and how they communicate and treat their customers, employees, communities, and the general public. It is time for you to realize that your everyday actions impact society more than you even imagine. How you spend your time, your attention, your resources, what actions you take and how you treat others in your small world will eventually spread to the larger scale. Business partnerships in the broader sense, just as personal relationships, require as well consistent performance, demonstrating the elements that form trust and underline integrity. And if you are tired of the scandals that have shaken faith in elected officials, law enforcement, corporate leadership, and even your own personal relationships, it is time to take a stance. Families, communities, economies, society as a whole cannot function without trust, and trust can and must be restored. This is just one introduction video for many others that will come, a series of videos in which we will explore ways to rebuild our world from the present, one honorable, fair and just action at a time. Are you honest enough to observe the problem and daring enough to take appropriate self-regulating actions to restore honesty and integrity in our world? Or are you comfortable with the ignorance and comfort that deceit and dishonesty might bring you in the short term? One answer will build a world in which we thrive. The other will pull you down a path of decay and deprivation that will disintegrate your soul and leave you empty and wanting. Your choice will impact not only you,